We're back. It's been a while. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in to this week's episode of the Think Rugby podcast. Just a quick one before we begin. Apologies for the inactivity. I've been away. I've been back at home in the Promised Land, Scotland, my neck of the woods, visiting family, a lot of holiday and that. I've not had a chance to do anything really in terms of podcast work or any social media work. I've been doing a couple of things on X and TikTok, but that's as far as it goes for me. In the meantime, we've had Andy Moore doing his Edinburgh video, so if you haven't done so already, please go give that one a watch. It really digests into Edinburgh rugby and the problems and some good things that are going on, but at the current moment, probably some more problems. But once again, tune into that if you haven't done so already. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and actually, we'll be doing more of that in the future, so stay tuned for that. How are you doing, Andy? It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while, like 3 weeks. Similar to yourself, just life has happened. That's why there's been a lack of content on my end too. I mean, I think it was one Monday you were going away, then the following Monday I was going away for different reasons, and that's I'm fine, but I'm eager to be back.
It's just about getting back in the into the swing of it, just like the rugby that's been happening, just back into the swing of it. Plenty of rugby to digest, as you'll see in this week's episode. But before that, we're going to the rugby that's happened. We're going to the rugby even further back, which was the Rugby Championship. Now, because of the kind of slight inactivity, we did not want to miss this, so we're going to quickly review the Rugby Championship. So, if you don't know already, the Springboks won it. Boo. But they were thoroughly deserving winners at the end of the day. I think they lost, was it one game out of? I think it was just one game, was it? Yeah, one game against Argentina, which was, once again, it was a very good game, but at the same time, it wasn't a full string Springbok side, and it was pretty close as well. We had Argentina finish second, or I think we had All Blacks. Yeah, Argentina I think finished second, and the All Blacks kept in third there. And then we had the Wallabies rock bottom with only one win the whole championship, which was against Argentina, and it was by a single point. But it was a very good championship nevertheless. A bit of a strange one, if you ask me, more so because there was a lot of rotation. And I don't know whether that was, there's a few reasons for that. It was through injury, through teams just not sure who the best team was, cough, cough, Australia. There was teams just doing it because they can, and there's a lot of flex to say, hey, look, we've got two full-strength teams that could beat your full-strength team, cough, cough, South Africa. So it was very interesting to see all these different like teams and like kind of matchups go up against each other, such as like 9-10 kind of combinations from certain teams, and even the centre partnerships and the front row partnerships. So there was a lot of players playing, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I liked seeing all the different players and kind of choosing my pick who I thought were the best players.
No, I quite agree, and I have to be honest, watching some, as I mentioned a few episodes ago, watching more of the Southern Hemisphere kind of big games like this tournament has really helped my understanding of the tournament. Having said that, though, I knew Australia were going to be bad, and surprise, surprise, they only won one game, so nothing much learned there. But no, I thought it was a brilliant tournament, despite the rotations.
Yeah, it was one of them. Like, I did feel Australia maybe do a little bit better than they did. They were close. They were unlucky not to pip the All Blacks in one of their tests. Though, let's be perfectly honest, it was a very close game. You could maybe blame like the cards and that as well, but still, you expect the All Blacks to see past Australia when they're playing at the standard that they are just now. We did predict Australia, like we didn't do it on camera, but we did predict Australia to be like kind of rock bottom anyway. I did kind of hope New Zealand would win the whole championship, but I think my head kind of said the Box will do it. They're just too strong and too dominant. Like I say, they put out like a third team to face Argentina, and yeah, okay, they lost, but it wasn't by much at all, and it was a competitive fixture nonetheless. So let's start. We're going to break it down, and we're going to give our team of the tournament. Now, I've put my ego aside, and I've been as fair and honest as I can. I have picked a player from at least one player from every single nation. So I've went with 7 from one nation, 6 from another, and then one single player each from the last 2 nations in the championship. We'll begin with front row, the big boys, the guys who do the nitty gritty work. So the front row. So number 1, loosehead prop. Who have you got, Andy?
Niche. Springbok.
Same. Do you call it niche or I say oxen che? Or is it niche?
Well, I mean, yeah,
no,
I've definitely paid a lot of attention to the front row of South Africa. Yeah.
The reason I ask that is because a lot of people that pronounce it differently, and I'm honestly I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, I went with him. I think it was a bit of a no-brainer. The only thing I would say that I had doubts about was the South African scrum was actually the least dominant scrum out of all 4 teams in the championship, which sounds insane to hear. If you look at the stats, I think it was about an 82% success rate from their own put-in, whereas the All Blacks were up in the mid-90s. Even Australia and Argentina were above them in the high 80s. So it's just fine margins, and once again, it could just be because of so much rotation in that Springbok side. But I think just general play and just getting the job done, I think he definitely deserves to be in there. Hooker,
I went with Cody Taylor. By far one of the better players for the All Blacks, and I felt for a lot of time against the 2 big tests against Springboks, I thought he was by far their most likely source of getting a try and a bit of grunt, a bit of bite up front, particularly in the pick and goes or whenever the All Blacks were in the Springboks 22.
I'm just going to say here, I've also got Cody Taylor. I think I've just got to remember what you said. He was a very, very promising player. He was a lot of go forward, especially off the lineouts. Oh my goodness, he was so good from them. Not obviously collecting from the lineouts, little strike moves, and yeah, he was one of the most dangerous players. He wasn't the hooker that scored the most tries in the championship. Malcolm Marks actually scored 4. However, once again, Marks is fighting with Mbambi, and I just feel that Cody Taylor cemented that. He was one of the few players at the whole championship who actually, I think, played every single game in most minutes. So I've went Cody Taylor. It's going to be interesting about tight head, but I'll let you know who I've put first. But it'd be interesting to see if we get all 3 the same player. I've went Tybal Lomax.
I did not. I went Koch.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
I see. What's your reasoning for Koch? I'm not saying it's a bad answer because I think it's actually a good pick, to be fair.
Well, I think he started at least 3 tests, and of course, I think off the top of my head, 2 of them they won anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you can't argue with that. Do you not think he looks like Mr. Incredible?
Well, I would probably say Montoya for Argentina looks more like Roy from The Office, but that's just my opinion.
I think you've said that before, and I just did not get it whatsoever. Okay, well, I went Tyrell Lomax. I just think, you know what, bar the scrimmaging, I think he's the best tight head prop in the world. Not just with his scrimmaging, but I think it's also his attribute wise. He sold your boyfriend Cody Taylor. He sold your boyfriend Cheslin Colby the absolute dream of a dummy, which set up a Caleb Clark try in that test. Yes, okay, South Africa won that game before you mentioned it, but I just feel his ball skills are streaks above. He's a very, very dynamic player, but also just his general prop play is very criminally underrated. So I've went Tyler Lomax, but we can agree to disagree on this one. Second row, I have went for a New Zealand and South Africa combined one. So I've went Vi for the All Blacks, and I've went Eden Etzebeth, which I think was a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah, I put in Etzebeth as well. However, I put in Gonzalez from Argentina for the simple reason being he, out of all the stats on the Rugby Championship website, which you can get whenever, which I was quite surprised about, he won the second most amount of lineouts.
Yes, no, Gonzalez, he's the boy that plays for Saracens, and he had a very, very good season last season with Sarries, and there's a reason. If you're playing for Sarries, there's a reason. You're good. And yeah, I did want to put in some more Argentinians than I actually did, which is a bit of a shame, but
Same,
I
yeah.
just couldn't see past Vi and Etzebeth. Vi coming off, well, he was called up for the World Cup, but didn't really get much of a chance. Completely more came off the bench in the bigger games, and he started the lesser games, and he kind of got his chance as Championship, and I think he really kind of took it and he cemented his position in the All Blacks team. He can also cover back row as well, but I think his better position would be the second row. It's very good competition, and I think he would complement Scott Barrett quite well. And Eden Etzebeth, you got Etzebeth, do you?
Yeah, I went Etzebeth.
Yeah. I thought you would have. I thought you would have. And actually, I would put a little C next to there, not for CAUNT, for captain. For Eden Etzebeth, I would put him the captain of my team. Record amount of tests played for the Springboks, surpassed Victor Martfield, absolute legend of the game. I remember when he was like early 20s, and it felt that he's been about for ages in the early 2010s, should I say? And he's been about for so long. He's still got years and tests ahead of him, and he just doesn't look like he's slowing down. It just feels like he's getting better and better each time. Nobody's managed to come close to knocking him out of the Springbok side, and yeah, I think he's one of the truly world class players in that second row position.
Definitely. Back row.
What do you want to do? Do you want to go 6, 7, 8, or just want to go like generically? Because I think sometimes like can get mixed up because you might want to play two open sides because they've been out of skin, and maybe play a flanker at number 8 or something. But
yeah, in that case, we'll just do the back three in general. So I went with one All Black, one Wallaby, and one Springbok.
Same. My goodness, this is. I think great minds are thinking alike here, but fire away, mate.
So the All Black I went for was Ardi Sevilla, most carries. The Wallaby was Wilson, most amount of tackles. And of course, Sia Khaleesi from the Springboks, because just a world-class player and a phenomenal leader.
Yeah, fair enough. So I've got one of those three. So I've got Ardi Sevilla. Ardi Sevilla. I can't remember the last time I've not picked him in like a team of the week or a team in the tournament or anything like that. It just amazes me the levels that he goes to each game. I was very torn between the Australian pick. Like I've not went with Wilson, but I was very torn. But he more plays number 8. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I put him down as number 8 in my team. Yeah.
Because I had Ardi Sevilla at my number 8, and I had McWright at number 7. Reason being, I think he's a Michael Hooper out and out replacement. He's very big, strong, and dynamic. I've not seen the stats from McWright, but that's why it got me thinking. Because Wilson, I know, had a fantastic tournament, but I think the whole of the Australian back row was a bit of a shining light in a dark tunnel for Australia. Being perfectly honest, so I don't disagree with your judgment there with Wilson. And the number 6. This is kind of cheating because he actually started the first few games, I think, in the second row and played a lot of games in the second row. But I went with Peter Steph du Toit at number 6.
Okay, fair enough. See why, yeah.
It's kind of cheating. He did play second row quite a lot, but you know what? I like to break the rules, so we'll get on with it. We'll go to the halfbacks. 9 and 10.
9 and 10, I went with TJ Peranawa and Sasha Zulu.
Interesting. I'll agree with you with Sasha Ingram Zulu. I think there was just so much rotation in that fly half position. I was tempted to put the Argentinian fly half Carreras, but I just think they just maybe didn't win as much for Sasha. I just think because of the occasion, like how young he was for 24, quite a young player, and the level and the standard that he kept himself at throughout the whole tournament. Some very clutch moments and hell of a boot on him.
Yeah.
Crazy. The one thing, he's got a lot of heart and courage. He was injured, but he still went to play the All Blacks game and absolutely bossed it. So yeah, that's why those are the few kind of reasons why I led towards Sasha. D-Mac wasn't really in the question, let's be honest, and I don't think Donaldson played particularly well for Australia when he was playing 10. For scrum half though, I've also went with a Kiwi, but I've went with Cortez Ratima.
Fair enough.
I went with the reason I went with Cortez Ratima, and once again, Pevenara, not a bad choice. I think you're just, it was a toss of the coin, being honest, but I just prefer the way Ratima's come into the side. He's a very young player, inexperienced, and he's just slid in. The first game was a little bit shaky, but since then he's really, really played out his skin. And when he got a start, he was unreal. Pevenala, yeah, I can't agree with. I just feel he's at the end of his tenure, and unfortunately, but he is on this tour coming up in the autumn Nation Series, but I think that'll be him done, and he won't be playing another home game for the All Blacks. It was hard to pick a Springbok because they had maybe like 3 or 4 different scrum halves for the tournament, and it's just like, but that's what I mean. Like, it was so interesting in one way to see all the depth and different kind of play styles these players have. At the same time, it's like when you try to choose a team in the tournament, it makes it pretty fucking difficult. So that's why I went with Ratima and Sasha Nguzulu at number 10. We'll go for the centres just now, inside and outside centre. I'll go first. Number 12, I've went with Argentina's Chocobares.
Okay.
Played out with skin. Link-up play with Sinti, I think they were probably the best centre partnership in the championship, and yes, I put them above the Allende and Creel. Albeit my number 13 is Jason Creel, so I'm not counting that out completely. I just think Chocobares, every time he got the ball, playmaker, like he was almost like a second playmaker, but he can be that ball carrier. It's like a Tuipulotu kind of idea.
Okay,
yeah. So he was very dangerous. Like I say, complimented Sinti a lot, and Sinti's already a fantastic player. He plays for Saracens. Chocobares plays for Toulouse, and I'm not going to lie, if you play for Toulouse, you don't have to say much more. Jason Creel, Mr. Superman, absolute God's gift of a body. It's absolutely phenomenal. But once again, his play, like, he just never seems to have a game which is like a below a 7 out of 10 performance. And yeah, so I've just went Creel. I couldn't go with Kiwani. I just don't think he got into his stride too much. Ikitau, or was Ikitau at 12? I did kind of half think Ikitau, but just maybe didn't play didn't get as many results as you would want to get to the team. So I went with Jesse Creel.
No, I went for a Springbok partnership. I went with Deolande and Jesse Creel. Jesse Creel because most amount of clean line breaks, and I went, Deolande, part of the winning team. I agree with you though, Riki Ioane, I mean, that shithousery, by the way, on Johnny Sexton, that was funny. But I agree with you, he never played as well as what I thought he would. So that's why I did think, anybody else, there's him, no, not enough for me.
I was close to putting an Argentinian centre partnership, being honest, but I thought I'd be generous because at the end of the day, the Springboks did win it quite comfortably the whole tournament. Back three, sorry. We'll go through one by one. At number 11, I've went with Caleb Clark. Most tries in the tournament. Yeah. He even played a single game. 6 tries, and I think he obviously played less games than tries scored. I think he just completely upped his game this year. I've heard a lot of people question him and just say, like, what he's actually about, but I think he's kind of silenced the critics. Out and out try scorer. He was definitely New Zealand's best winger, better than Talea, better than Will Jordan, my hero. Dare I say it? But yeah, so I've went Caleb Clark number 11. By yourself?
Yeah, well, I have picked Caleb Clark, but I put him to 14, obviously for the most tries. But at 11, I put in Carreras. The reason being, I thought he was very, very exciting to watch against Australia, albeit that was Australia was playing. And the stats back it up, the second most amount of defenders beaten in the whole tournament.
Yeah, he's a world-class player. And once again, it's one of them where I was absolutely kicking myself because you want to include him, but I couldn't drop the fullback because I actually who I've got at 14 is Cheslin Colby, so I couldn't drop Colby. Being honest, I thought Colby was fantastic, like he always is, and I can't believe you didn't include him.
Well, the problem I felt with Cheslin Colby was I always feel like the reason why I think he's such a fantastic player is the fact he can create something out of nothing. And I've maybe went too heavy with the stats for this team, but I felt a lot of the time he would create something out of nothing, and then the Springboks were just too slow and rucking over, or the next phase there would be a knock on. You're like, oh, that for nothing. So that's why I thought about it, but I thought this time round maybe not. Still a phenomenal player and better than Will Jordan, in my opinion.
A bit of winger, but not a bit of fullback. But we'll put that by the by. I just feel with Colby, like every time he plays, you expect him to do something like amazing, what makes you go, "Oh my god, I can't believe he's done that. Can't believe he's done this." But so yeah, that's why I just had to put him in. But once again, Caleb Clark, you can't argue with most tries scored. Number 15, I've went with Fassi.
Okay.
4 tries, I think it was, this tournament. Didn't start every single game, but I think he is one of the feature stars for the Springbok side. Be perfectly honest. Who'd you have 15?
I went with Will Jordan. I thought at 15, although I do prefer Bowden Barrett at 15 in the past, say, 2-3 years, I have to say Will Jordan's performances at 15, that merited him getting the 15 shirt, and he also got the most metres gained in the tournament, but that might have been a winger, but regardless, that's...
Will Jordan is, for me, he should be playing 15 for the All Blacks. He does it for Crusaders quite often. He should be doing it for the All Blacks. Allow Barrett to go back into 10, put McKenzie on the bench, and McKenzie can make an impact off the bench. I'm sorry, like, he's just so much better there. And yeah, you're right, Colby is a better winger, but like I say, Jordan can fit into that fullback role very, very well. So that's our team of the tournament. Let us know in the comments what you think the team of the tournament should be. Even just pop it in the comments yourself if you agree, disagree with us. Also, tell us who's the better, mine or Andy's. So I had 7 Springboks, I had 6 All Blacks, and I had 1 Argentinian and 1 Wallaby. I was tempted to put Tupou in actually, tight head, being honest. But once again, you can't really when you're losing that many games. He was good, but he wasn't that good. He wasn't like a proper standout. And yeah, I guess like Sinti in centres, he was one that I thought. Carreras at 10 or the one that plays the winger as well. Gonzalez. You could have had a few Argentinians. Looking back on it, I feel kind of bad now, but rugby is a tough sport and this is a performance-based industry. So we take no prisoners. Okay, moving on. We will evaluate, or more, you will evaluate, Andy, because this is your kind of kettle of fish here. The Glasgow performance against
Cardiff
Blues. That's the one, and it was away as well.
Yeah, Friday night. So I watched the game. The final score was 52-36 to Glasgow. I thought Glasgow would try and click up a couple of gears from the previous game. In an attacking sense, they did, but as anybody who follows me on X or Twitter would have seen, defensively, it was a shocking game. It was a great advert for rugby. It's a Friday night. I don't know what football games is or isn't on, but for me, that it was a fantastic advert for rugby to somebody maybe on the fringes, maybe only watches the internationals, not really gives club rugby all that much of a go. Glasgow's beginning to rake up a few injuries. That's Kyle Steyn out, Adam Hastings. Sub-rugby commentators, for example, Andy Good, our new competitor, he has a big kind of thing at the moment of players are down looking for a card if there's a potential shoulder or head-on-head collision, and I don't disagree with that. The bit that frustrates me is in the URC. I wouldn't say certainly in the Scottish games that I watch there's as much of that happening. But George Horn, it was a fair wallop he took, and it was a good couple of minutes before he went off for an HIA. And the previous game, Hastings went off, and we've seen the replays. It was the lad made no attempt. It was a deserving red card, shoulder to the head. Hastings was not immediately taken off for an HIA, and I'm not by any means saying that's. I get that it is a grey area sometimes, but you have to be setting these standards right from the very pinnacle of the game so that it gets fed down and through, because we know the signs and everything there. It's just a bit of a rant I've went on.
You know what it is? No, you're spot on there. They need to set an example, because if you don't set an example early on, then that's when the complaints start to happen, because that guy got off with it, then he got off with it, and he got off with it. You need to be brutal but consistent throughout, and it's such a hard one. It's such a hard thing to manage. But I actually really think the 10-minute bunker, the review report thing's a brilliant rule though. Just speeds up the game.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I mean but like we've said before, the referees are only human and everything, and the TMO has got all the time to deal with it. But for me, that's just a cop out for the correct decision not being taken there and then by the referees.
I think it is just to slow down. To speed up the actual flow of the game, because I remember sometimes, especially for the fans as well. Fans are kind of turning these days a bit more into the football side of things. But if the replay's getting played over and over again, slow motion, the referee's trying to decide in that environment where everybody's going down on you, and you're like, oh fuck. Whereas if you can continue with the game, it's definitely a yellow card, off you go, and then it's the TMO, the match official, who isn't seen. Nobody actually knows who they are. Let's be honest. Well, some people might, and then the pressure's off that, and then it's a more competent decision. So it's not in the heat of the moment. You're not pressured to make a decision within a few, watching the video a few times. The special team in the room have 10 minutes, 7 or 8 minutes really, to decide whether or not it's going to stay a yellow or go ahead.
So now, moving on to the other Scottish team, I didn't catch the game because I was working. I did watch the highlights though, and Lions 55, Edinburgh 21, and I think it was 48-0 to the Lions at half time? It was
dreadful.
Just a disaster, yeah. Your best pal, John Barclay, came out, I think it was half time, and said it's a disaster. And it's an absolute nightmare when it's that scoreline at half time. I made a video, as we said at the start of the video, about Edinburgh a couple of weeks ago. And I have to say, I thought, wow, have I surely gotten this so completely wrong that they would go down to South Africa, and I'm like, yeah, they'll probably finish somewhere 6th to 8th. After that display, I'm like, well, Everett probably won't be head coach, even though I said he would turn it around. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Edinburgh form,
No top 8 then.
Well, to me, Edinburgh are at home against the Stormers this next weekend. The players need to take some responsibility. It can't just be all on the head coach, but anything other than a bonus point win, regardless of what the score is, anything other than a bonus point win. The writing's on the wall, and I mean the SRU, they interfere anyway. They will probably interfere to get this problem sorted.
Yeah. I could see it happening. It's disgraceful, being honest. Any team that's 30-0 or the above 30 points down at half time, it's just like you've got to be asking questions of the defensive strategies. But you can say the same about Glasgow. Glasgow conceded 36 throughout the whole game against Cardiff, who, let's be honest, Cardiff haven't been the team they once were 10 years ago. So, yeah.
Well, similarly with them, I expect with Franco Smith that he would have been more pissed off with the. Okay, they got 52 points, but they conceded 36. He'll be more pissed off with that. I would imagine 1 or 2 tries at the very most they would concede again this coming Friday night.
Like I say, I said this a couple episodes ago. I mean, more for Glasgow because they'll be looking to retain the URC Championship. Like, scores and tries win games, but defensive win leagues. I've said this before so many times, and it's so true. And when you're conceding 36 points, it's just not. It's just not, and you're winning. It's just not enough. I mean, you'll take it because you've won, but it's just not good enough to be winning championships. So yeah, but I think for Edinburgh, I think by this early stages, but I don't think they'll struggle to get to top 8, or if they might pick 7th or 8th. Just moving on, if you're happy to. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I don't want to speak about Edinburgh anymore. Just get on.
Away with that rot. Yeah, so we had other games such as the Bristol Bears. They travelled to the Rec to play Bath. Lovely stadium it was. It is, sorry. It was 36 points to 26 in the Bears' favour. We both actually only caught the last 20 minutes. You because of work commitments, me because of my rugby commitments. Watched the last 20 minutes. It was quite exciting actually. Bath kind of pulled back into it. So some Russell brilliance in attack and defence. That's not me being biased, that's the truth. But then Bears did just pull away towards the end. So 36 points to 26, which puts Bristol Bears second in the Gallagher Premiership, just behind Saracens, who are the only unbeaten side this league so far, which has only been 3 games. So it's a bit mental how there's only one team that's won all 3 games. But that just kind of shows how good Saracens are, but also shows how competitive the Gallagher Premiership actually is. Until it comes to teams like Newcastle, who they hosted Leicester Tigers and lost 10 points to 42. And this will have been the 15th or 16th, probably more, straight loss for Newcastle Falcons in the Gallagher Premiership. So it's just not looking good for Newcastle. But Exeter and Newcastle are both yet to win or draw a game, so they've lost all 3 games. But Newcastle are bottom of the Gallagher Premiership on points difference, and probably the lack of no relegation or promotion kind of saved their skin last year from going into the championship of the English rugby system.
No, I think it was an abomination last season, losing every single game and facing no repercussions for it. I don't care about the financial, repercussions would have been for Newcastle. The Saracens had to do it the hard way. I'm by no means a Saracens fan, but they had to do it the hard way. They came back up. Why should Newcastle be excused? I mean, they might not get relegated. I mean, they might outlast some other Premiership clubs and not go bust, and therefore not be relegated. But that's a tangent for a different thing.
No, yeah, I guess you're right. It is. We're kind of going on to this is about the results. This is about the financials. But there was word that Newcastle were going to get taken over by Saudi, wanted to take some company, or the Prince of Saudi wanted to take over Newcastle like they've done with the football team. But I don't know how much progress with that. I don't think much because they're still fucking shit. But yeah, it's just they should have been a playoff. I'm not saying that the winner of the championship should have got straightened up. They should have probably had a playoff with Newcastle last season to and then maybe a two game playoff possibly sounds about fair, about right, and one home, one away. But they didn't. They saved their skin. But I do think that's because the amount of teams that actually folded last season. So you had Wasps, you had London Irish, and you had Worcester. In the past couple of seasons, all three of them sides, who are big historical sides, have all folded.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to see that Worcester Warriors are hopefully making a comeback. I think it's into either the Championship or it's into the National Leagues. I can't remember which one it is, but there's word they'll be making a comeback into the semi-professional / professional rugby era, which would be good because it's always nice to have teams like that in the mix. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. But I can't see Newcastle winning. I think Exeter are just going through a kind of rough kind of patch. They'll come good. Exeter are a super class team at the end of the day. They have won quite a lot recently. So yeah, I think they will bounce back quite quickly.
Before we move on, do you want to do predictions for who you think's going to win or come top of the Premiership?
I'll give you top four.
Okay.
I'll give you top four. Do you want to go 1 to 4? Or do you want to go 4 to
1? We can go 4 to 1.
Okay, here we go. I'm just getting the table out just now. So, top, I think, is going to be Bath.
Okay, so even though I said let's go 4 to 1, let's start at 1 to 4. I'm only joking. Yeah, I agree with you, but I think Bath, with the amount of money they've spent, they will probably get there, probably win.
I think, no, sorry, my bad, but yeah, I think Bath will win it. 2, I went with Saris because they've had a very strong start and the squad they've accumulated this year is pretty fucking decent. And they're only going to get better, I feel. Like I say, they've not even gotten, well, they're probably just getting Gonzalez back and Sinti back, and they're still absolutely fucking bossed it so far. So I've went with Sares, number 2.
Yeah, I would say it would be themselves or Bristol would probably get second, I think, this season.
Who have you went 3rd and 4th then?
Well, 3rd, I was thinking it would either have been Bristol or Saracens, and 4th likely be Northampton.
Okay, here's my prediction. I think 4th place will be Northampton. 3rd place will be Northampton. 4th place, Sale.
Okay.
They are a sleeping giant. They've not been about what we were discussing before, actually. Well, me and Andy were discussing Northern Hemisphere, northern teams. Sale or Manchester, I'm pretty sure. So that's another northern club. So yeah, I think Sale. They've been sleeping for a while. They are one of the more northern teams. Like a lot of rugby unions played in the south, but I think they've been it's been a long time coming, and they showed glimpses of it last season. They've not got a team that has too many internationals in it, or English internationals anyway. So see for the Six Nations and that, not too many of the players get pulled away. Some of them do, like Curry. And does George Ford still play for them? I think he does, possibly.
I'm minded to say that he does, but I could be wrong on that.
Nevertheless, but they've not got that many players actually leaving. There was also word that Niall Clevy was going to go over there. I'm pretty sure he is signed for them as well, which is the Fiji international. So they are growing, or they'll have that ambition to grow at least. So I've went Bath, Saracens, Northampton, and Sale, and then I think Newcastle finish rock bottom.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Sound. Okay then. Guess who?
Yeah.
Yeah. The score is. Have you got the score? The current score? I have a couple of points.
I do not. It's been 3 weeks. It's been a lot. A lot has moved from my desk.
We'll count up later on, but I'll do my one first for you to guess.
Okay.
Hope you've been. We might be a bit rusty because we've been at the game for so long, but we'll see how it actually get on.
Professionalism, right here, folks.
I've never claimed to be a professional, by the way. It's just we're just purists. Clue number 1. 3 words. I'm Scottish born.
Scottish born. Finlay Christie.
Incorrect. Number 2. I've played for 2 professional clubs, one of which being the Bristol Bears.
Oh, man. Oh, dear. I do not have a clue.
I'll give you a clue. He's played for a second club.
I know it's wrong. Magnus Bradbury. Is that him?
That's right.
Is it actually?
Did you actually just... I know it's wrong. Shit. No way. Fuck's sake.
Genuinely, it was just like, I can't think of anybody else. Oh, I'll just go with Magnus Bradbury. I couldn't even remember who it was he was playing for in England.
He played for the Bears.
Yeah. I feel really bad for what's about to come your way now.
Clue. I'll read out the rest of the clues for those playing at home. Clue number 3. I made 19 international caps, scored 3 tries. Number 4. I'm a back rower. At number 4. Did I say number 4? Sorry, this is number 5. I'm famous for my try visa England in the historic comeback in the 2019 Calcutta Cup, ending 38-all. Fair play, Andy. I thought I was risking it a bit with the Bristol Bears clue, but as it happened, you ended up guessing it right. But I'm not having that. That's an absolute fluke and a half. Like, fuck's sake. Let's go then. I've got the all to lose. I'm honestly like a fucking...
I'm clawing back the points anyway.
yeah, I'll stitch myself up. Let's go.
Number 1, my date of birth was Hogmanay in 1993, which makes me 30 years old.
Hogmanay. Bloody hell. So he's 30. Jameson Gibson Park.
Incorrect. Number 2, I play at scrum half.
Do you say played or plays?
Plays, yeah, plays.
How old would he be? I have a weird feeling you've went with the Scottish theme. Also, because you mentioned Hogmanay. Hogmanay is a Scottish thing.
This is my poker face.
George Horn.
Incorrect. Number 3, I played for the Dragons for 3.5 years, 2021 to 24.
Scrum half played as the Newport Gwent Dragons. The Welsh team.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
Who played for them?
This is when I say I feel really bad for, you know.
No, but yours was just a stab in the dark and you got it, so fair play. I'm literally just 30 minutes across the road from them. Well, a bit more. A scrum half, well, I'm possibly going to assume he's now Welsh, but I don't want to assume too much. It's not Reece Webb, obviously not. Thomas Williams.
Incorrect. Number 4. This will help you. I currently don't have a club, and my best achievement in my career is a silver medal in the Rugby Championship.
What, a silver medal as in...
Second.
Oh, cheers. And as in... and,
Don't give me that. You fucking said, oh yeah, I'll give you a clue. He's played for a second club.
silver medal in the Rugby Championship, as in All Blacks, South Africa, blah blah blah.
That is some of the teams that play in the Rugby Championship. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Oh fuck! He's 30 as well. I know this just isn't true. This answer. This is not. Oh, why? I think South Africa for some reason. It's not. It's not him. It's not him.
I'm afraid, Mr. Kelly, I must press you for an answer.
Ah, bother. Let's just go. Even though I know it's wrong, let's just go Nick White.
Incorrect. Clue number 5. I have earned 63 caps for Los Pumas.
Oh my god, I can't even think of the name. I can't even think of the name. Why can't... This is really pissing. I'm actually got... This is going to be a 0 pointer.
If you get close enough to the sound of the name, then I'll give you it, kind of thing.
First or last?
Last name.
I honestly, I can't even think. Right, what's the most Argentinian name I can think of?
Well, if you have a good enough go at the first clue, here's another clue. He's not called Lewis or Louise or whatever.
Yeah, as most Argentinians aren't. Let's go. I'm going to have an educated guess just solely off the name because I really can't even think who the earth it could be. Let's say Cordero.
Incorrect.
Go on. Go on then.
Gonzalo Bertanau. Bertranau. Bertranau. That's how you say his name.
Gonzalo.
Yeah. Or Gonzalo. My handwriting's a bit off. Yeah, it would be Gonzalo, yeah.
Oh, here he is. He's actually a bit of a baller, gone this way. It's a shame. Why is he without a club? When you were doing your research, why did it say he was without a club?
Well, it said he was training because he did. I can't remember the name, but he played with another Welsh team, and then he's not been playing any games or anything with anybody since. So, and I was quite surprised because he started, I think, in at least, if not at least one, if not both, of the 2 tests that Pumas had against the Springboks. So I'm very surprised he doesn't have a club.
Yeah, what you call it? He joined Cardiff on loan from the Dragons, but it was at the end of the season.
Yeah,
last season. I just think he's just kind of without a club, really. What a shame.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. And even if I went down the Jaguars route, I mean, I don't think he would have clicked on as to who I was on about.
No, I literally, it's one of the players. Like I've seen the face. I just looked him up. I've seen the face. Know exactly who it is. But when you think of a name, when you try to think of so many different nations and that as well, you're just like, who could it be? Who could it be? But oh well, right. Moving on, I think we'll go to Hero and Twat of the week, and we've got a few actually tasty. What's the word I'm looking for?
Tasty nominations.
Yeah, tasty nominations this week. So we'll start with Twat, will we? Or start with Hero? Let's start with Twat.
Honourable mention.
Go on in.
I'm going to go with Rassie Erasmus.
Rassie Erasmus. How so?
I've seen on social media that the only Twitter account or X account that he follows at the minute is the Scottish Rugby Union.
Really?
I seen that. I haven't checked it, so I could be setting myself up there to fall. If it turns out not to be true, South Africans, don't stop watching the podcast. I mean, we want you to keep coming back. That's why I like his, but Zav doesn't.
Hey, to be fair, I didn't realise there was about 1,500 of them watching.
Yeah, I could not believe that.
And it wasn't even about South Africa that much either.
Yeah.
It's more about Australia, man.
It's all right. I've checked the analytics. Nobody lasts much more than 15 minutes in this thing anyway, so nobody will have heard me say that.
No, it's fine. Thank goodness. But, I've got a better one. Than Rassie Erasmus. Michael Cheika.
Okay, do explain.
I've got the article up here, so I've came with receipts. Michael Cheika banned after passive aggressive doctor left shaking by, you'll never guess what it is, intense eye contact. Oh. So this is the headline of the Telegraph, so I will read a bit more because reading into that, getting banned, eye contact, come on, that's very fucking snowflakey if you ask me. Like, I know the game's been a little soft, but that's a little bit too soft for my liking. The 57-year-old Australian was charged with a breach of Rule 5.12, which covers actions I can't even say that word. Basically, against the rules on the interests of the game in terms of conduct. For his conduct towards the doctor after Leicester's narrow open day win at Exeter Chiefs. You won. What's that won for? You will find out. The former Australian Argentina head coach was hit with a 2-week ban with one suspended till the end of the season after an independent disciplinary panel heard the case on Tuesday night. The details of Cheika's issues with the match doctor and the circumstances around the incident are not known, with the full judgment yet to be released by the RFU. The panel found that Cheika disrespected the independent matchday doctor in challenging the decision he made that the player was subject to an immediate permanent removal. Although it was an unusual case because there was a lack of clarity about the decisions made about the head injuries, the decision of the independent matchday doctor must be respected. So I don't think he was particularly happy that his player got taken off for an HIA and wasn't allowed to continue with the game. But at the end of the day, how long's HIA been going on for now? How can you question it? You're a paid doctor. You're not going to try and boycott the game, surely, unless there is some little bit more sinister going on. But Michael Cheika wouldn't know about that unless he's got a PhD in being a doctor. Then I don't think he should really have much of an input, and he should just kind of keep his mouth shut and stick to coaching his team. What do you think?
Meow. No, I agree with you.
There's always been something about Michael Cheika. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, as a coach, I think he's absolute quality. Like, obviously his rugby brain's really good. Like, he coached Australia to a World Cup final. Like, I mean, if you said that now, folk would think, well, he's a messiah. And then he also was the Argentina head coach, and he got them to the semi-final, I'm pretty sure it was. And was it twice or maybe just the once? But nevertheless, And then
they also bet us in a tour. Like Scotland went over there and they bet us 2-1 in that tour.
That's right. Yeah, he's a quality coach. He also coached Lebanon Rugby League. I mean, I don't know why Lebanon's got such a good rugby league team. I think it must be Australians going over and working in Lebanon for the oil and gas, whatever. But nevertheless, so he was their head coach at the Rugby League World Cup. He's a very, very well covered, well respected coach in the rugby community. But he's just kind of tarnished his reputation a little bit there. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's that deep, but it's just a bit of a dickhead thing to do, if you ask me. Why would you question what the doctor's saying, giving them eye contact, and also just being giving them a couple passive aggressive comments, just basically trying to say he's wrong and isn't doing his job right. It's like, get a grip and just focus on your team playing, you big baby.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but for me, the twat of the week has got to be just the whole Edinburgh team. That performance, I watched the highlights. The fucking that's basic. A lot of the time, it's the defending is just. We've been on about Australia being bad in a few episodes. Edinburgh were not far away on that scale of how bad they were, but that's all I've got to say about that.
Do you think that Edinburgh might be the new Newport Dragons or Zebra, always rock bottom of the URC?
They're never going to be rock bottom, but they're certainly not going to be with their player pool. They'll have enough grunt not to be that far down the table, but they're massively underachieving. I mean, that's clear as day to see.
How many internationals did they have in that starting lineup? It was a good few.
Off the top of my head, the forwards there was 6.
Schumann, Ashman, Grant Gilchrist. I mean,
Mesh.
if you want to count Mesh, I guess I'll let you have that. Bradbury,
Richie. And then you've got
you had Vellacott and Healy at 9 and 10.
Graham, Tupelotu, and Van der Merwe.
Van der Merwe wasn't playing, but he's in the squad.
Yeah. Well, he pulled out last minute. Yeah.
But that's supposed to show that was almost like 2 hands, more international players there, international quality players there. I know, well, it's Moses Tupelotu. It's not his brother Sione, but nevertheless, he's been brought over here with all the excitement, and I mean, he's yet to deliver completely. But I still feel that if you're good enough to start for Edinburgh and you've been brought over and slid straight into the starting lineup, then you must show some sort of talent and attacking prowess. Maybe this defensive game is letting them down. 13 is the most difficult position to defend on the park, as I unfortunately found out when I played 13 once. It wasn't nice.
Yeah, true, but I mean, it is only his second or third game. You don't want to put all your reliance on both the centre positions on one player, but
no, of course not. Of course not. You can't. But I'm just begging the question: is he actually properly doing his job? Is he over just because the big name Tupelotu? Is it cheaper because his brother already comes here? Because he wasn't actually getting much game time back at home. So is it because he was injured, or is it, I don't know what it is, because he's not actually that good a player? I don't know, but I think we'll leave it at that for now. We can digest it a little bit more in later episodes. Legend of the week, though, I've got a couple of nominations. Well, I've got 2. So we'll go for the first one. I'm going to congratulate my old club and your old club, where me and Andy both met. Congratulations to Banff RFC on your enthralling victory in the Cup against Peterhead Rugby Club. The full-time score, I think, was 104 points to 7, was it?
I couldn't tell you, but I do know that Banff scored 16 tries, which was, considering Banff in the last couple of seasons have struggled, you can't help but feel, fair play to them for getting such a positive result.
No, definitely. A shout out to Conor Middle, who got a double hat-trick, 6 tries. Conor McLean, must be things about Conors. Conor McLean got 2. You had, who else? Liam Ross scored. Goggs came out of retirement for about the 10th time.
I did see that, yeah.
So, yeah, but also fair play to Peterhead Rugby Club getting a team out. First competitive team they've had out in 4 or 5 years. And yeah, so fair play to you guys, and hopefully you get some more teams out and play some more competitive fixtures. But the main legend of the week, or hero of the week, we like to call it, for me, and I mean, I don't think I'll say this in a rugby sense, because it isn't a rugby sense really, is Gregor Townsend. Gregor Townsend, he has the aspirations to climb the Japanese Alps, it's called, for a cancer charity in memory of his mate, former teammate and mate, Tom Smith. So I've just got a little article up here. Hopefully, yeah, here we go. So it just says what he's going to do, and then Tom Smith, his old teammate and mate, died at 50 from colon cancer. It was in 2022 he died. Tom Smith was a Scottish player and British and Irish Lion. I think he was one of the hardest ever Scottish players has ever been. He was apparently a phenomenon back in the day. So yeah, fair play to Townsend doing that. I mean, you do it for your mates, would you? Even though they're no longer here. So I'm proud to call him a fellow Scotsman. But just in the coaching sense, I've got a few disagreements with him, quite a lot actually. But I'll give him some leeway here. Fair play, Gregor Townsend. Have you got any more heroes of the week?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Excellent. Right then, guys, before we wrap up the video, don't forget and remember to watch the video previous to this one, which was the Edinburgh review from Andy Moore himself. Really nice episode. Just pop it on when you're in the car, when you're out a walk, when you're, having a bath, just whatever. Andy's face is absolutely lovely to see when you're sitting bollock naked in a little bubble bath. Don't worry, I would know. So, watch that video. Sorry, Andy, you're safe. Follow us on TikTok, subscribe on YouTube, and also on X at Think Rugby, and also at Andy Moore on X as well. Let's really push the socials. Let's get the viewership up again. We're really stoked, and we are back. We've had a couple of weeks off, just busy lives. Bass is back, locking in again, and we are ready to go. Anything else to add, Andy?
No, not at all. Just hit that subscribe button, folks, and thank you for watching.
Excellent. Thank you, Andy. See you next one.